today we are going to be talking about runway competition at CMTC. It's one of our most popular competitions. So what is runway competition? A runway competition is an opportunity for the models attending CMTC to showcase their modeling potential. So if you have any questions, please just let me know and I'll stop as I'm going to answer them. Okay, so during this competition, contestants walk on the main stage runway at CMTC in front of a live audience, as well as all of the reps who are attending CMTC are at this competition. So they're lined up along the sides, and then there's usually a couple of rows in the front as well of reps. So it's a great competition to get exposure, even for commercial and lifestyle models, and often even our actors will, if they're interested in both modeling and acting, will hop on the stage as well and join this competition for the experience in front of an audience and again, more exposure in front of the reps. First question, will the reps know your age? So they won't know your exact age, but they will know the division. So since we have score changing and score sheets changing per division, we have an MC that announces the division. It's also up on the board. There's two screens. So one will be a live feed and one will let you know which division is currently walking. And then the MC will also read out the contestant numbers. So the reps, again, have a chance to write down their numbers or log their numbers and score them. Okay, great question. Okay, so what are the rules for runway competition? So the runway competition is again open to all ages, so starting at 4 to 7, all the way up to the 20 plus and 18 plus divisions. I will get into the wardrobe requirements in just a second. They are different for the 4 to 11s than the 12 and over, so we will go over that. Okay, so each contestant will walk on the runway just one time. Okay, so it's really your time to shine, but you only get one chance at it. And again, someone will have an entire staff group backstage lining you up, making sure you're in order. Usually it's me behind the stage cueing you when to go on. So if you have any questions, well, you're there. We will definitely help you. I even often hold your hand going up the stairs if you're wearing heels. So I'll be right there making sure that you are cued on time. Another great question, will you be able to walk on the runway once before the competition? So yes, I'll get into that a little more later, but there is a runway workshop that takes place for all the divisions prior to the runway competition that usually takes place on Friday. So usually we have the workshop on the Thursday, and then on the Friday is the competition. So you'll definitely have a chance to walk on the runway with a coach helping you before the competition. Great question. Okay, so contestants must not stop on the runway in the middle or turn around. So you'll get onto the runway, you'll walk right through, and then you can pose for up to 3 seconds at the end of the runway. But you can't stop in the middle of the runway, and we don't want you doing any turns or anything like that. Do we get our own outfit? So you bring your wardrobe for this competition, and again, I will go over that in just a second with the wardrobe requirements. So no dancing or consistent posing. So again, you can pose at the end of the runway for up to 3 seconds, and then you definitely want to look, and once you're done your pose, that's when the judging is ending, because there are stairs at the end of the runway for you to walk down, and we want to make sure you look down and look at those stairs. We don't want anybody tripping and falling. So after your pose, judging stops, look down, and walk down the runway. What pose should I do at the end? That's completely up to you. I will give some tips for those who are 4 to 11, as well as for those who are older than the 4 to 11 division, so the 12 plus divisions. But the pose is completely up to you. So if you want to smile, you can smile. If you want to put your hand on your hip, you can do that. Whatever feels right for you. Is there a height requirement? Would you recommend doing it if you're 5'4"? Yes, so again, this is also a great opportunity for not just those who are interested in high fashion or runway modeling, but as well as commercial and lifestyle, because again, you're getting that exposure in front of the reps with your look, your walk, your confidence. Moreover, this industry is always changing, so you will see a lot more models on the runways of all different shapes and sizes. Do we have to wear heels? Great question. I will get into that in just a second. We do recommend, if you're interested in the high fashion market or fashion modeling and you are above the age of 12, to try to wear heels. Again, you will want to practice before this competition, even before you get to CMTC, just walking in whatever shoes that you're going to wear for the competition. If you're not comfortable in heels and you can't walk confidently in heels, even when you've tried to practice, then we would definitely just recommend wearing comfortable shoes or sneakers that, again, are appropriate for your outfit as well, though. Okay, so to finish up the rules, judging is based on your runway walk, attitude, appropriateness, sense of style, and booking potential for fashion shows. Okay, so wardrobe requirements. Getting a lot of questions about this. So contestants who are ages 12 and over are required to wear an outfit that is black, white, or a combination of both. Okay, so black, white, or a combination of black and white. We have been posting some pictures. There's already some reels on our page too, where you can see that those that are 12 and over are wearing black, white, and a combination of both. And our little ones, 4 to 11, are in whatever outfit they feel comfortable in. It doesn't have to be a dress or a bow tie or anything like that for your kids. You'll see that some of our contestants last year did decide to dress that way, but it can also just be as simple as jeans and a t-shirt for the kids, or a skirt or a dress or whatever they feel comfortable in. Okay, but it doesn't have to be super pageanty. And then for, again, children, 4 to 11 can wear whatever colors they want. Our 12 and over, we want you in black, white, or a combination of both. If our staff members see you in the lineup and you're not in black, white, or a combination of both, you're technically disqualified from the competition. We try to be nice, so we try to send you back quickly to change to in black, white, and a combination of both, but it also depends on how quickly you can do that, because we want you in your numerical order and the competition goes pretty quickly. So just make sure you're paying attention to these wardrobe requirements. This is one of our only competitions with wardrobe requirements that are this strict. So please just pay attention to that. Is form-fitting top and bottom better than looser clothes? So again, this does depend. If you're more comfortable in something that's loose, that's fine. However, if you are really interested in pursuing modeling or high fashion modeling, we do recommend a skinnier fit jean and a tighter top, so you're showing your figure. But the big thing here is you want to come across confident on the runway. You want to be dressed appropriately as well. So if you're more comfortable and confident wearing loose fitting clothing, then definitely go for it. If anyone's paying attention to Fashion Week right now, you're going to be seeing a lot of different outfits, and they are not always form-fitting. They're sometimes loose-fitting. Sometimes you can barely even see the model's body type or anything like that. However, again, this is about exposure for you. So that's why we recommend black, white, and a combo of both, because that's more general for a casting situation for a runway show. Great question. Okay, so if you're looking for more inspiration for this competition, we do have wardrobe inspiration on a Pinterest board. So check out our Pinterest page, and it will be linked in the email again that we send on Thursday summarizing this live session. Okay, so here's some tips from the judges. So be confident. This is your time to shine. So make sure you're practicing at home. I'll give some more tips about practicing at home in a little bit. Walk to the beat of the music. This is a big one. So for our kids, it's usually fun, upbeat music. And for our adults, it's usually kind of high fashion beats, so to speak. So no words, but walk to the beat of the music. So if you have a Spotify or iTunes or even YouTube, maybe look up some different songs that you can hear on fashion shows and walk to that beat. We just posted Lisa Winkler walking recently, and you can kind of, maybe if you play that, kind of listen to the music. I believe it was a dub over of a Britney Spears song. So then you'll see that the models are walking to the beat. Okay, so if you get kind of lost in where you are, just listen to the music. What music will we be playing? So I don't know that yet, but again, usually for 12 and over, it's kind of a more techno. Again, we want to make it clear, so it's like beats. I don't know how else to describe it. And then for kids, it's usually like poppy music. Will contestants hear the music before? Not the exact music, but again, it's all very similar. Again, if you look at the one that we just posted of Lisa Winkler, it's like that. It's kind of like a more techno beats. And then, I haven't said the word beats in so many times in my whole life. But techno beats. And then for kids, it's like pop Disney type music, where we do have lyrics playing for them as well. Can you choose your own beat for the walk? No. So we play the music, and then we cue you onto the stage, or I cue you onto the stage, and then you walk. So again, you're just trying to listen with the pace. During the runway workshop that you'll be working with a runway coach, they'll have music playing for you, so you'll get a bit of an idea. So excited to see you in May, Lacey. Okay, do they play music during the workshops and are the same during the actual runway competition, depending on the age division? Very similar. So I can't guarantee it's the same song because it is about the pace of the show, or the competition, I should say, but it is very similar. Okay, great question. Could we possibly remove a coat while walking down the runway, maybe even hold it on the shoulder? I definitely recommend even starting it, if you're going to do that, starting by holding it. You don't want to do anything too distracting, or once you get up there in front of the reps, in front of the audience, where you're having to also concentrate and think about that as well. So again, you could do that, but you just want to make sure that you're practicing if you're doing it that way, and you don't want to like drop the coat or anything like that. So I would start with it, and then maybe at the end when you're posing, maybe do a different move with it, but keep it simple. Can you wear a cardigan and keep it on? Absolutely. What is your recommendation for shoes? So we'll get into that in a second, but for kids and men, we say simple shoes. I know, say like the Nike, the white ones are kind of in style right now. So if you have those, the thing with white shoes though is you want to make sure they're clean. Any shoe you wear, you want to make sure it is clean because the reps are at shoe level. Okay, so you again want to make sure they're clean because that is something that they're looking at, and you again want to put your best foot forward. No pun intended. Okay. How long is the runway? So we will be posting runway pictures. They're also on our website, and they're also definitely been posted before. It's quite a long runway. I don't have the exact measurements. I should probably know that, but it's quite a long runway. So you have a bit of time on the runway. It's probably, I want to say, a third of the ballroom at CMTC. So it's of course elevated a bit or moved up a bit on this end, so we have a backstage area, but it's quite long. So I think there's 3 classroom tables on each side, so long scoring tables on each side full of reps. So if you can kind of picture that, but I will be posting some more images of our main stage so you have an idea. Great question. Are all age groups going to be in the same class? So for a runway competition, it's broken up from 4 to 7, 8 to 11, female 12 to 15, female 16 to 19, female 20 plus, and then for males 12 to 17, and then males 18 plus. So that's how it's broken up. Do the training workshops include practicing on the runway? So great question. So we do have a runway workshop with a runway coach. Usually it is the day before the runway competition. Again, with the itinerary, we're still working on it, but most years there's been the workshop on the Thursday and then the runway competition on the Friday. So it's definitely planned out so you are getting experience on the main stage with a runway coach before the actual runway competition. So you definitely, as long as you make sure that you're checking the itinerary and checking out when that runway workshop is, you will have an opportunity to walk the main stage before the competition. Do we look straight forward while walking? Yes, so definitely look straight ahead. You can turn your head and smile at the reps if you want, but again, you want to make sure, I always recommend looking ahead, smiling. If you're 4 to 11, 12 and over, you don't have to smile. If you're feeling more confident smiling, you can. We also do recommend a neutral face for those who are 12 and over, and looking ahead is your best bet because you want to make sure you know where the stage ends. Straight, serious face on runway, walker, smiles. So again, good question. Same thing. So for 4 to 11s, usually you're gonna want to smile for them, because usually when you're selling fashion for kids, it's kind of more happier. You're going to see a 4 to 11-year-old naturally frowning all the time. So we don't expect them to have a neutral face. We want them to have fun with it and smile. So we recommend smiling for 4 to 11s. 12 and overs, we say a neutral face. So you don't want to look angry or anything like that. But a neutral face is recommended. You don't need to be smiling. For something like swimsuit competition, which we'll have a different live for, it's a little more fun. So we recommend smiling for that one if you would like. But again, for 12 and overs, we recommend a more neutral face. The workshop, cost extra or is included? The workshop is included. Is this competition open to the audience? So yes, the runway competition, again, is one of our biggest competitions, and that also includes the audience. So usually the room is pretty packed with a live audience, and all of the reps that are at CMTC are at this competition. Not all of them are judging the competition on a scoring basis, but all of them are in attendance, looking at the models and talent, scouting, as well as after runway competition concludes, they all take the mic and they all introduce themselves, where they're from and what agency they're from. Should we keep it natural makeup, or it's okay to be creative? I always recommend natural. You don't want to do anything too distracting, because again, the point of CMTC is for you to have exposure, and these reps know what hair and makeup can do. If you were selected for a fashion show, for example, the casting for it would be neutral makeup and neutral outfit. Again, black and white usually, or black usually. And then they hire the makeup artist and the hair to do whatever the designer wants them to be seen. So I would recommend neutral. Again, think of this as more of a casting situation than a fashion show or anything pageant-y. Do you recommend a specific pose for entering and exiting the runway? So when you enter, we recommend just walking on. Some people will pose, but we only tell you to pose at the end of the runway and hold it for about 3 seconds. So when I cue someone onto the runway, for example, often they'll come up the runway, turn, and start. You can pause if you would like, but we do like to keep the momentum going. So we just tell you to walk on and walk straight down the runway, no stopping, and then pose at the end for about 3 seconds. And then look down at the stairs, especially if you're in heels. We do have 2 of our security team, or our staff, standing at the end of the runway to help you down the stairs. But for the pose, I would just recommend whatever feels right. People kind of do their own thing every year. So we get a lot of hip action. We get a lot of just kind of neutral swaying, things like that. What outfit do you recommend? Preference of jeans versus leggings. So again, if you're looking to really get involved in the modeling industry, high fashion or otherwise, we recommend either skinny jeans, so tighter jeans, or leggings. Really, they're very similar, so it's whatever you feel comfortable in. In a lot of casting situations for high fashion modeling, you are told to, again, either or, skinny jeans or leggings. Are we allowed to take pictures of our child walking down the runway? Absolutely. So feel free to take photos, feel free to take videos. We also have our professional photographers and videographer that will be taking photos and videos as well. We just ask that you don't stand in front of the reps, since the reps are judging and scoring. Is there 2 security people for children's runway too? Yeah, so it's either security or 2 of our staff members who would be able to catch someone or try to catch someone if anything happens. Usually we don't have that happen, thank goodness, knock on wood. But they will be there to offer a hand for anyone who wants a hand, I guess, walking down the runway. But yes, also for our children, we keep an eye on them when they come off the runway, making sure mom, dad, or guardian gets an eye on their child, and the child finds their guardian to sit down with. Okay? Or if you're going to leave directly after they're off the runway, that's an option too. But we definitely keep an eye on the children that are coming off the runway. Thank you. And how high should the heels be? So we recommend, again, if you're pursuing modeling for females, 3 inches or more. Again, though, if you're not confident or comfortable in your heels, even if you've we always recommend wearing them for a while before CMTC. So if you haven't purchased shoes yet and you're in runway, I definitely recommend doing that soon. Or if you have a comfortable pair of heels that you're used to, again, they have to be black or white. Make sure you're practicing in them. So we recommend 3 inches or higher. They don't have to be any higher than 3 inches. If you're not comfortable or confident in them, then they can be smaller or no high heels at all. Dresses are absolutely fine. Who can be in the audience? So anyone with a visitor's pass can be in the audience. Or contestant. So if you're a contestant and you're not registered for runway competition, you can watch as well. For males, is it necessary for them to wear skinny jeans, or can they wear wide leg pants? Yep, you can wear wide leg pants. Anything a little looser fitting, that's fine. Again, ultimately, there are requirements are black, white, and a combination of both. So other than that, anything you're comfortable in. I'm just recommending what we usually see or would see in a casting situation for models. And again, I will be posting images from other divisions, including the male division, so you can see what other contestants have historically worn, and then there's also photos on our website of runway competition and all the different age categories. Will the runway competition be open to everyone? So it is open to those who've registered for runway as far as the contestants are concerned, and then for the audience, it's anyone with a visitor's pass or contestants who aren't registered and just want to watch. And then again, all of the reps that are at CMTC will be in attendance. Okay, this would be my child's first runway experience. Worried he would get nervous seeing 2 men at the end of the runway that he's walking towards. Can the parent of the child be behind those security? Yeah, so they're not standing up like intimidating. They're actually kind of at both ends, just kneeled down in case, again, we're really worried about those who are in heels, making sure that if they need assistance walking down the runway, that there's someone there, but they're not there super prominently, like in front of the runway. Again, they don't want to interfere with what the reps can see, and they don't want to interfere with our videographer or our photography team. So they're really just there to assist. And sometimes it's not even 2 males, sometimes it's a male and female staff member. Again, just being there to support. They do not step in if they don't need to step in. So they won't be prominent. And then if mom or dad or guardian wants to kind of stand so they're visible to their child, that's fine. They just can't be in the way. And in that case, again, that's why we have 2 people standing near the stage to make sure that nobody is in the way of the reps and nobody's interfering with our videographer or photographer. But I promise you, they're not too prominent, and there's so much light, professional lighting as well, that they can't even really be seen, to be honest. I hope that answers your question. And they'll get the experience during the runway workshop too. So make sure when you're at event check-in and you get your itinerary for the weekend, you check out when that kids workshop is for your runway, and then for the 12 and over runway workshop, and then they'll get the experience walking down. And even in that case, we have the runway coach and a couple staff members standing at the end of the runway. What time is the runway competition going to start? So that will be in the official itinerary that you get at event check-in. Shoes should be only black or white, or could be silver. We suggest black and white. Okay, so try to stay away from any other colors if you're 12 and over. Is a black dress okay, or do you think it's better just to wear a shirt and pants? We often get a lot of people wearing dresses, so dresses are absolutely fine. Again, we recommend something that you're comfortable in and something that shows your figure. Nails neutral. Yes, I always recommend neutral nails for things like this, because again, casting situations, whether modeling or acting, you want to be neutral. Could black shoes have slight color details such as embroidery? Yeah, that should be fine. Do parents have to have a visitor's pass if they want to come? Yes. So only those, because of our event capacity in the ballroom itself, it's only those with a visitor's pass that can get in. And again, we have our security throughout the convention space checking for visitors' passes and contestant numbers. Will any of these pictures be available after the runway? Yes. So we post all of our pictures after CMTC on our Facebook page. So you could even go onto our Facebook page right now and see mostly all of the photos from our professional photographers for each competition. Do the pants need to go all the way down to the shoe, or can you show a bit of your ankle? You can definitely show a little bit of your ankle, so they could be crop pants as well. That's fine. Or you could wear shorts. That's also an option. But again, the strictest part of our wardrobe requirements is black, white, and a combo of both, and/or a combo of both for 12 and over. And then for our kids, they can wear any colors. But again, you want to make sure you're dressed appropriately, with that said. Okay, perfect. Thank you for explaining. I was worried it'd be intimidating. No. We make sure that it's not. And again, that's also why we have the runway workshops, because we want to make sure you're on this main stage and getting the experience prior to the competition in front of the reps. Is it okay if I wear a two-piece suit for the runway competition? Absolutely. If that's what you want to do, we've definitely had people do that. Okay. So many wardrobe questions. I'm going to get into the tips in just a second because they cover some of our wardrobe requirements as well. But could black shoes have a slight pop of color such as... Yep, that's fine. Is the runway workshop requires it just for extra help? Just for extra help. So all the seminars and workshops that are included in your registration and that will be on the itinerary, they are all just extra for you to learn more. So if you are confident on the runway and don't feel like you need experience on the runway, you don't need to. However, I will say whoever our coach is, like last year it was Eric Larva, who does a lot of the Toronto Fashion Weeks. It was an opportunity for you as a model or talent to work with her and kind of network with her. So even if you have runway experience, I do recommend going, even for the networking aspect of it. And again, you at least can kind of get a vibe for the stage before the competition. But it is just for extra help and you are not required to go. Is there a specific place we can go to look up for the competitions we have registered for to refresh our memory? Yes. So you can look up the email that you should have received upon registration, or you can just email our team and we will send you a list of your registered for competitions. Blue jeans are okay though. So no. So you want to wear black, white, or a combo of both. What kind of hairstyle is recommended? So, for example, if you have long hair, we just recommend wearing it in a ponytail of sorts, or down is fine. Maybe tucked behind your ears if you just don't want to cover your face is what I'm trying to get at. But we don't have any requirements for hair, so really that's up to you. But I recommend if you have it down, kind of behind your face so you're not hiding your face, or pulled back again so we can see your face and your expression. And same, if you have a shorter haircut, you just don't want to be covering your eyes for visibility, of course, so you can see the stage, and that's so the reps can see your face. We haven't announced our runway coach yet. What day will the runway competition be? It's typically on the Friday. However, our itinerary is still being worked on. You can see our 2022 itinerary and it will look pretty similar, and that is on the convention info page of our website. Will they play music during the runway workshop as the kids are practicing? Yes, they will. Can you attend workshops of competitions you are not signed up for? Yes. So a lot of the other seminars and workshops aren't specific. Like this one is specifically runway workshop. Again, even if you're not in runway competition, you can participate in the runway workshop. And then all the other seminars and workshops are open to you as you see fit. So you don't necessarily have to be in a competition that correlates with the workshop. If you have bangs in the headshots, is it okay if they have grown out by CMTC? Yep, that's fine. Will there be a workshop for the swimwear competition as well? Great question. No. So the runway experience you get from the runway workshop will translate for the swimsuit competition. So it's very similar. We will have a different live session about swimsuit, just as the walk is a little bit different, the pace is a bit different, but still the same principles. Is it possible to be playing the music they will be playing on the runway competition? No, because we have, again, it depends on how fast we go through the divisions, of course. So we just have a loop of music that we play. Again, though, I would just look up, if you have Spotify or Apple Music, common runway music, maybe look at a couple of the different shows that have taken place during Fashion Week. Again, there's usually, we want to make it easy, and we want to make sure that the music is something that you can walk to with a repetitive beat. Okay, so for our 12 and overs, there's not usually any lyrics. There's just a beat to walk to. Okay, and then again, once I talk about swimsuit, and then next, whenever that live it comes, we do kind of more tropical music as well. A little more fun vibe for the swimsuit competition and a little slower pace. Okay, so I'm going to move on to more of our tips. So the tips from the judges, from the reps that attend CMTC, again, are be confident, walk to the beat of the music. You'll hear the beat, so that's one thing I will say. There's, of course, transitions between different songs. However, we make the transitions as short as possible. And before you go on, you will hear the music. So, again, maybe listen while you're in lineup, while you're backstage, before you're going on, you will hear the music. And all of the beats are pretty similar. Okay? So practice in the shoes that you'll be wearing on the runway. And remember, this is your moment to shine, so don't rush it when you're on the runway. Okay? Again, walk to the beat of the music, of course, but take your time. Okay? Gonna look at some more questions. Is it okay to wear sneakers or non-heel shoes on the runway? Yes, so if you are someone who's 12 and over and you are not confident in heels, then you can definitely wear sneakers. Can parents go to the workshop with their child? Yes. Does every person walk to a different song? No. So, for example, like a real fashion show, you will be walking consecutively. So one contestant will go, they'll have their time on the runway, they'll pose, and then the next contestant will be cued on. So usually there's, 3.5 minutes per song, maybe longer depending on the songs we choose. So you'll definitely be walking to the same song as someone else in your division. So no, it's not different for every person. Okay, great question. Okay, so some more tips from our team for you. So practice. Make sure you practice alone and then in front of a mirror, and then practice in front of close family and friends so you get used to walking in front of an audience. Someone's asking me, do you have to be tall? So again, there are some height requirements for different agencies depending on the age of the model. Of course, if you're still growing and you're under the age of, let's say, 18, height requirements aren't really a thing yet because you're still growing. It also depends on the designer. You'll see a lot more designers not worrying about height requirements, and all shapes and sizes are on the runway. So again, for us at CMTC, we do not have any height requirements. The reps, depending on who they represent, might have different requirements. And again, if you are under the age of 18, height requirements, since you're still growing, aren't as big of a deal. Do you have a place to sit after we are done? So you can sit in the audience. Usually there will be some space for you. Often we'll have visitors hold their spot for their contestants. Or you can sit with your agency if you have another agency who's attending. But there should be some seats for you, specifically because there are quite a few contestants in this competition. So there should be room for you to sit in the audience. Often you also have a bit of an adrenaline rush, so you don't want to maybe just go sit, but you'll often see contestants lining up the room a little bit and watching at the kind of corners of the ballroom. This is a good question. Will there be hair and makeup pros to help during the convention? No. So again, because we are really trying to drive home the natural aspect, so you be confident in how you are and what you look. Again, these reps know what makeup and hair can do for someone. We kind of stay away from like the pageanty type thing where there's a lot of hair and makeup. Again, everyone in this industry knows what that can do for you. So you're more than welcome to do your own hair and makeup, but we don't offer anybody to do wardrobe, hair, or makeup. That's a great question. We do get it quite a bit. Will we do a rehearsal at the location before the actual event? So there's not a rehearsal for the competition itself because it's not actually any type of fashion show per se. However, we do have the runway workshop, so you're getting on the runway and you're learning from a coach who will give you tips and pointers about your walk. Are plus sizes loud? Most definitely. Okay. So again, you want to make sure you're practicing, practice in front of a mirror at home, practice in front of an audience, even if it's just friends and family who you're comfortable in front of. As again, during this competition, it is a packed audience and all of the reps at CMTC are there. So you want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable and confident when you're walking. Okay, so ages 4 to 11, we recommend smiling on the runway and having fun with it for sure. And then those who are 12 plus, we recommend a more neutral facial expression when you're walking down the runway. Of course, you're welcome to smile. Even when you get down and you're posing, you're welcome to smile then as well too. But again, this is just recommendations from our team. Do you have to have experience modeling? No. So again, CMTC is for new faces. So we and the reps who are attending and scouting know that they're new faces, and a walk is something that a model is constantly working on, even far into their career. So no, you don't have to have experience on a runway or experience modeling to participate in this competition. And again, that's why we have the runway workshop prior to the runway competition. So you're getting experience working with a coach and you're getting experience on the big main stage. Yes, can I have my afro hair? Absolutely. Okay. Keep a good pace on the runway. So again, listen to the music, walk, do not run. This is your time to shine, so soak it in. You want to make sure all the reps and panelists can see you, so you do not want to walk too fast on the runway. Okay, make sure your arms are swinging naturally. You don't want to look like a robot, so you don't want to be too stiff. And again, our runway coach that is attending CMTC will help you with that and give you pointers for that. Okay, when you pose at the end of the runway, hold your pose for 3 seconds, and then once your pose is done, the scoring is done, and then definitely make sure you look down at the stairs and take your time walking down the stairs to making sure that you're safe walking down. Can I wear white shoes with a small bit of pink? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You just want to make sure it's not too colorful, anything that we would really notice if we're looking for black, white, and a combo of both. Can we have our glasses on? So eyeglasses, if you can't see without your eyeglasses, then definitely wear those, especially if you don't wear contacts or have that as an option. For photos, you just want to be aware that there might be a bit of a glare from the professional lighting that we have. And then when it comes to sunglasses, no sunglasses. Okay, good question. Okay, so you should be comfortable in your outfit, including shoes. So again, we want you to practice in the shoes that you're going to wear for the runway competition. And then if you have your outfit picked out, we also recommend practicing in the outfit. So then you're getting, prior to getting on the main stage, you're feeling comfortable and confident in what you're wearing and you're used to what you're wearing. Almost like a dress rehearsal for yourself. Okay. Walk with one foot in front of the other. So just make sure that, again, one foot in front of the other, you're walking a slower pace, but keeping up with the music, of course, and again, you're not rushing it. And again, a runway coach and the runway coach we have attending is way more qualified when it comes to giving you tips and pointers as far as your walk is concerned, but again, that's why we have the runway workshop at CMTC. Okay, Vicky. Okay, so these are some questions I've already answered. Should we wear fitted clothes or anything black and white as long as it's comfortable? So we recommend more fitted, something that will show your figure, but if you're more comfortable and feel more confident in loose fitting clothes, that's fine as well. I just recommend showing kind of your fashion sense as well. But again, we're thinking this is more of a casting situation where you're showing your figure. Is wearing gray okay? So it has to be black, white, and a combo of both if you're over the age of 12 or 12 and over. Can you show some pictures online, ages 50 plus? Yep, so those are actually on our website. So if you keep scrolling through, if you click on the runway competition and keep scrolling through, you can see some. If you actually go back to our CMTC 2022 posts on Facebook, you'll also see all the different ages who've attended CMTC and the photos of that. Okay. We've had people as old as up until the age of, I think, 80s, maybe even into their 90s attend CMTC, and it's a great market to be in. So definitely if you're somebody who's over that, over 50 plus, or even a bit younger, a bit older, whatever, this is a great competition for you to get exposure. Again, it's a highly sought after market, those age categories that are a bit older. Great question. How many people are going to be on the runway at a time? So it's just you. Okay, so it's just you on the runway. It's your time to shine. Okay, so definitely exhibit good posture, but you don't want to look too stiff. So even me, I'm slouching towards the camera right now. So you want to have your shoulders back, but not too far back. Again, the runway coach will help you with this, but you don't want to be too stiff, and you want to have good posture on the runway. Okay. So show your confidence. You want to be on this runway, and you are getting the opportunity to be in front of these reps from all over the world, not just Canada. They're from all over the world. They work for the best agencies. So you are getting that opportunity. So own it and enjoy it, and know that it takes confidence in itself to get on that runway. So just own what you're doing and show your confidence, just like you would if you were auditioning for a client or if you were working for a client. You want to be confident. That comes across on your face, okay? And if you're not feeling confident and you're feeling a bit shy, my biggest tip is just fake it till you make it, okay? Just feel really good about being on that runway. Pat yourself on the back for even doing it and attending, and rock it, okay? You have nothing to lose. So show your confidence. It's going to project through your expression. It's going to project through your walk. So that's why, again, going back to even practicing, okay? Pump yourself up. And you don't want to overthink it either, okay? Because that comes across on your face as well. If while you're on the runway, you're just thinking about it. Instead, kind of turn any anxiety you might have, if you have anxiety about being on the runway, turn it into excitement. And again, just realize and recognize the opportunity you have to be in front of these reps, okay? And it's a lot of fun. Behind the scene, and I'll be right behind the stage with you, and I will be holding your hand until you go up there if that's what you need. Can you have jewelry on? Yep, you can have jewelry on for sure. So how many judges will there be? So all of the reps in attendance at CMC will be at this competition, and then Audra hand selects the judges. So we do anywhere between 10 to 20 judges for the competition. Can we wear a tank top, or do we have to wear something that covers more skin? Tank top is fine. Good question. Okay, so shoes for females 12 plus. With an interest in modeling, we do recommend black heels are best. Again, that's typical for a casting situation. Your agent would tell you to grab a pair of black heels that you're comfortable in and wear that to the casting. So that's why we recommend it for this competition. We suggest stilettos, so no wedges. Again, if you're comfortable with the stilettos type, 3 inches or higher. Again, if you're comfortable and confident and have practice in them and they're comfortable, then that's when we want you to wear heels. Okay, because that is true to the industry. So again, wear heels if you're comfortable in them. If you're not, then don't push yourself in that way for this competition. But just know that many reps might ask you and will ask you, especially if you're someone qualified for runway or working in runways with runways in the future, then they will want you to learn how to walk in heels. Because again, ultimately, it's up to the designers what type of shoes you will wear. So you need to be comfortable. Can we wear boots? So we have seen heeled boots. That's fine as well. What about chunky heels? Same thing. So they don't necessarily have to be stiletto. The stiletto ones are more challenging. And again, that's because these reps or the ones that work with high fashion designers, Those designers often want a stiletto shoe, but again, you'll see on the runway that sometimes it's a chunkier heel, sometimes it's no heel, sometimes it's a sandal. So ultimately, if you end up with a chunkier heel, that's fine as well. The reps don't judge you on your shoes like that. We just, again, have to make sure they're black, white, or a combo of both to be fair to everybody participating. Great question. Okay. For children and males, make sure your shoes are clean. Again, the panelists and judges are shoe level, so you want to make sure they're not being distracted by dirty shoes. It sounds kind of funny, but we've heard it before, so we just want to throw that out there. Make sure that they're just clean. Even if they're shoes that you wear all the time and you're comfortable in them, just make sure they're clean, okay? So again, just to remind you, your first time on the runway at CMTC does not have to be during runway competition. Make sure that when you receive your itinerary at event check-in on May 3rd, that you check and see when your runway workshop is. So there's one for our 4 to 11s and there's one for the 12 and overs. And that's your opportunity to get on the main stage and get tips from a runway coach prior to the runway competition. That takes place usually the next day. Again, check the itinerary though. Can we wear tank tops? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Okay, so if anyone has any more questions, then definitely ask them now because I'm wrapped up with my notes. Do you have any more questions? When you're at the hotel, how will you know what time the competitions are? Okay, so when you check in on May 3rd, you will receive the official itinerary for the entire weekend. So I always recommend you'll also receive a statement showing you what competitions you're signed up for, and I recommend taking a highlighter and highlighting the competitions you're in and the times for the competitions as well as the time for lineups. So lineups take place right before a competition, about 15 minutes before, and that's when we put all of our contestants in numerical order, making sure that everyone is in order and is registered for the competition that you're lining up for. And so again, you'll receive the itinerary for CMTC right when you check in at event check-in on May 3rd, and you can get the weekend itinerary is there for the entire weekend from the Wednesday on all the way to the callbacks on Sunday, and just highlight your lineups, highlight your competitions, and highlight any seminars and workshops you're interested in attending. It's pretty jam-packed though, but again, competitions don't overlap, so you don't have to be worried about that. So you're going to be very much free time. So we want to make CMTC definitely worth your while, and so the itinerary is very jam-packed. There's things going on from 9 in the morning all the way till 10 o'clock at night. So it's really up to you, other than the competitions, what seminars and workshops you want to attend. If you have a small visible tattoo, should you cover it? You don't necessarily need to cover it. Some people decide to. For modeling, things are changing now, so you'll often see a lot of models now that have tattoos, and sometimes it's a selling point for them. It depends on the personal preference of the reps. Moreover, Photoshop is a thing now too, so if you're booking work, they can always Photoshop your tattoos out if the designer or client isn't happy with them. So that's ultimately up to you if you want to show your tattoo or not. So a runway walk is somewhat like dance, just instead of dance moves, we walk to the tune of the music. Exactly. So you'll walk to the beat. The beat will be very consistent, so it will literally be kind of the beat of your footsteps, for example. So you just want to make sure you're walking with that. It's kind of like your cue. Do we know the themes of the parties beforehand, and do they end late? Yes. So the themes of the parties, if you're at the seminars, you know them already, but we are doing the pink party on the Thursday, and then on the Friday is fashion crimes, and this Saturday is the award ceremony. So you just kind of, it's semi-formal for the award ceremony, so you stay in whatever you're wearing to the award ceremony for that dance. So the dances go from 10 o'clock to midnight, and then at midnight our security team shuts it down, but security's there the entire time up until midnight, and then they clear the room because again, it's an early morning the next day. So they don't end later than midnight, but you can stay. You don't have to stay the whole time, I should say. Often people will start to clear out the room after the reps come and pick their favorite costumes on the Thursday and Friday nights. But again, it's totally up to you. You don't even have to attend the theme party dances if you don't want to. Last year they were pretty bumpin' and they were very popular. And again, for the Thursday, we do it in support of Kids Help Phone, so that's why it's pink again. And for Fashion Crimes, it was just a hit last year, so we're just keeping it going for this year. But we will give more official information about both of those dances during one of our live sessions. And again, if you're a contestant, you'll receive info about that as well. What time do you have to go to bed? So that's ultimately up to you. So if you're done with your competitions and you don't want to attend any of the other seminars and workshops that are happening, then you can go to bed. But the theme parties are a lot of fun and a way to connect with the different contestants. And again, another way to be seen by the reps who are coming in and picking their favorite costumes. Do you have to be there all day long if your competitions are over? Again, no, but the seminars and workshops are included. So again, I would recommend making the most out of it, learning the most you can. Again, attending the seminars and workshops are another great way to connect with these reps and be seen by these reps and speak with them. So again, I would make the most out of your opportunity being there and try to attend as much as you can. But it's just the competitions where we're keeping track of who's there and who is not. And again, if you miss them, then there's after the competition is over, there's nothing we can do at that point. Again, you're not required to stay at the host hotel. We just open up room blocks to make it convenient for our contestants, especially those coming out of province. And again, the itinerary is so jam-packed. We recommend just staying either in the room block that we offer or just nearby. Again, that could be with friends, family. You could get an Airbnb. You just want to make sure, especially with Toronto traffic, that you can get to the hotel and not miss any of the competitions that you're registered for. But you're not required to stay. Thanks, Brooklyn. So there is 3 parties. Yep, so on the Thursday night, there's the pink party, and then the Friday is Fashion Crimes, and then Saturday after the award ceremony. What time do we have to be there every morning? So things usually start around 9 o'clock, but you'll receive the official itinerary and yours might differ. So again, depending on what seminars and workshops you want to participate in, as well as the competitions that you're registered for, it will be different for you as an individual every day. So can a parent with a guest pass go to workshops? So I think you mean visitor pass. So visitors are welcome to all of the seminars and workshops, and then all of the open competitions. So open competitions, I mean open to an audience, and those will be clearly indicated on the itinerary. And then the guest awards ticket, those are just for the Saturday night. But I think you mean visitors pass, so yes, you can go to the workshops. The only workshop that I can think of on the top of my head that you can't attend is the kids casting workshop, not the competition. There is a workshop presented by 2 of our Toronto casting directors, and they work with the kids individually. And the idea of that is so they get comfortable without their parent or guardian in the room, working with those who are hosting this competition. So just so they're getting a vibe of what may happen at the kids casting competition, kind of practicing the games that they're going to play, and again, just listening to instructions from the casting directors. But again, this will all be indicated on the itineraries, what is open and what is closed to the visitors. You're welcome. If my plane got delayed, would I still be able to participate? So yes, so anybody, the only thing is if you're in dance or singing competition, those preliminaries are on the Wednesday night. However, if someone has to check in late, especially due to planes being delayed or out of province, Thursday morning before orientation, we open up the info booth early and you can sign in and get your event package and registration package at the info booth early on Thursday morning before your orientation. What time does everything end on Sunday? Good question. So callbacks usually end around noon at the latest because all of our reps also have flights to catch. So it starts early in the morning and ends around noon. great questions, everybody. I think that's everything. Again, we'll have a more general Q&A one right before CMTC, just going over the theme parties and packing for CMTC and things like that. But great questions. Arabella, of course, I can't wait to see you soon. It's coming so soon. I think we're at 8 weeks tomorrow, which is crazy. But I'm super excited to see you, the big 30th anniversary event. Thanks, Brooklyn, you too. Thanks, Melissa. Have a good night, you guys. See you next week for dance competition. It's a good one. See you then.